Welcome to my diary. I'm Tatami. Here we talk about whatever I want to, and today, honey, I heard a news story that made me feel all the feels. And I mean that not like I felt emotional just in one way. I mean that I felt all the feels that you could possibly feel at one time. I feel happy, I feel angry, I feel disgusted, I feel outraged, I feel proud, I feel pumped. It's not often that I go through such a roller coaster of emotions reading a story, listening to a story. And I want to talk with it to you all because this is the type of stuff I talk about here. This is the type of stuff that catches my attention. As you know, I advocate for Black women and Black girls, especially Black girls who are going through sexual abuse, which sadly is well over the half of us, well over it's the vast majority. It's something between 70 to 90% or something like that by the time we're 18, or by the time we're dead. I guess most Black women experience some form of sexual abuse, but it for a lot of us it's like something like 70-85% before we're 18 years old. There's just not a lot of innocence awarded little Black girls. We're perceived as fast, loose, wanting it, older than we look, which is so wild. Now that I'm older, it even more outrages me when people try and make it seem like Black girls look so much older and act so much older or need to be treated so much more grown. And sadly, this type of behavior is not just reinforced like in our family units, right? But the police do it as well. The system, the schools do it. Everywhere you go when you're a little Black girl, people see you as not worth the life, as somebody looking for trouble, as someone trying to start shit. You have to like prove yourself over and over and over again to be considered any type of good girl as a Black girl growing up in this system. So it does not surprise me, therefore, when in Milwaukee, a family or two, I'm not sure, reported two little girls missing. I believe age 13 and age 15. Little girls. They tell the police everything they know. The police don't really do anything. They show up to where they were told that they think that these little girls have been taken. And the police basically were like, didn't see anything. Nobody said nothing. Don't really care. Bye. Guess they're gone. The police left. They barely did an investigation. They collected no evidence of any kind. Didn't interview a damn person. Just were like, well, everybody says it's cool, it's kosher. Looks like they're not here. Maybe they just ran away. Fuck it. And the police left. Thankfully, that community refused to take that for an answer. Thankfully, that community started to rally around and started to gather people who could help actually physically go do the police's job and look for these girls and start questioning around this community in the first 48. Right, we all get Amber Alerts on our phones when little white kids go missing, and we're supposed to drop everything and look out the window. Hey, do you see that license plate number? We're supposed to check immediately because the first 12 hours, the first 48 hours of an underage person missing are the most important. But I guess, shit, they had it within a few hours and they just gave up within an hour, within a very short period of time. So these people go out and do the cop's job, start knocking door to door, start asking around, start interrogating people. Not interrogating, but they start, asking people questions. Hey, what do you know? What do you see? Can you lead me? Can you give me any leads on what's going on? They start gathering information and they start gathering people. More and more people become involved, especially as they hear the situation at hand. And obviously, this type of thing impacts the whole community. For absolute certain, if my child went missing, my teenager went missing, I would want people to help me. And if my neighbor told me she believed her daughter was kidnapped in some sort of way, held hostage in some sort of way as a very underage girl, possibly, probably in a very terrible, scary situation, I would be out there helping her too, because my kids could be next. Who knows who's out there? Who knows who's doing this? Who is in my community who dares think that we will just sit silently while children, preteens, and teens, young teens, go missing in the community? So they gather people. They're gathering people up. They're talking to people. And the crowd gets pretty big. This grows into a rather large posse. No one's armed. Everyone is just looking for the girls. That is the main goal of this group of people. So eventually they figure out where exactly these girls are at. And they have a crowd of about 100, probably more. And they're around this house. And I'm pretty sure it's the same damn house that they had sent the cops to earlier that day. And lo and behold, whoever's in the house opens fire. Starts shooting out from inside the house out. So you know you're in the right place now. You know you're in the right place now, because these people are just asking. There's a lot of people milling around, right? But you could easily dispel all rumors about, why are so many people saying you got not only one, not only two, but possibly more children inside this house. Long story short, with them shooting out, the cops show up. Cops finally show up. Cops go into the house, arrest everybody involved. But by the time the cops have showed up, 3 people have already been shot. 2 of whom, I believe, are children who were out in the crowd. Because it was a peaceful thing where they were just trying to walk through the neighborhood during the day. This all happened within a few hours, y'all. This wasn't like this was happening over the course of days, a whole ass investigation. No, this happened over the course of only a few hours. So during broad daylight, when they show up to this house, long story short, cops get into the house, arrest the people in the house. They have found, this means the mob who has gone into the house, raids, the mob goes through the house. Tell me how they found not only the 2 girls they were looking for, but 2 other girls who were missing. They double did the cops' job. They twice over did the cops' job for them, saved 4 girls from the community, managed to save them from a sex trafficking situation, and from the eyewitness reports, people were saying that they found very terrible things in that house. One of the things that I heard was there was bloody shorts of a girl in that house. So these girls were not this wasn't just like, oh, like I'm the cool mom and this is where the kids come to. No, this is not this weird situation where they dropped off at like a friend's house. This is not a house for little kids, okay? This is a house where they get sucked in and they never come out, okay? And apparently what people saw so enraged them that somebody set something on fire and the house went up in flames. This is when the police decided to go full pissed. And now suddenly the cops know what to do. They don't know what to do when they actually are needed for a peaceful situation 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours before. They don't know what to do. They're like, I don't know. I'm going to just go back to the precinct, maybe, chill for a little while, take a break. But when they see all this going down, now they're like, oh, I have bullets. I can just shoot at people and mace people. And so that's what they did. They started, smoke, whatever, all of the chemical weaponry and the shooting rubber bullets to scatter the crowd, basically. Which would have never had to have been formed had they done their job earlier that day. It's just crazy to me that they're mad that people ended up doing their job and then double doing their job, saving even more children than previously were expected to be saved from this situation. And I'm just, like I said, I'm in awe. I'm so proud of the community. I'm so proud of them because it's like, they did the right thing. I think, you're supposed to report a child missing when they're gone. You need to have that on record, even though the cops are fucking crazy. I do think that they were in the right mind to decide, we'll ask the cops for help. They have the resources for this. Does not shock me that they did not choose to use their resources on helping little Black girls from the community. Does not shock me at all whatsoever. This is very common for Black and Native women. Those are the top 2. And trans women trail not far behind, honey. And if you have certain intersectionalities, like being Black and being a trans woman, you're even higher up there on the totem pole, okay? Because they literally could give 2 fucks about us dying. They could give two fucks about us being missing. They could give two fucks. In fact, I'm not even, parts of me has to wonder if they knew what this house was, if they just didn't care. Because it's very wild to me that you have this accusation of people stealing children and two kids missing and more kids missing. Other kids who have been reported missing were found in this house, locked in this house. Like, this is crazy. This is really crazy to me. But it's not abnormal. This is exactly what they do. They absolutely, you will report someone missing, report someone raped, report someone trafficked, and they will absolutely write that shit on a piece of paper, stick it in the pile, and forget about it. They could give two shits. They are never going to send somebody on it. They're not even going to pick up the phone and make a phone call, despite that costing them 2 minutes of their lives. They're not going to fucking do it. So, absolutely, if you want your child back alive, I don't see why not. I don't see why you shouldn't. Absolutely, you should go over there. And if you see something so disgusting, I mean, my only thing is you burnt up all the evidence. But I mean, the fact that they had the little girls in that house in the first place, and I'm sure those little girls will testify. So I hope they got some kind of evidence, because I did hear that the mob ran through the house trying to get evidence and, you know, be able to prove something maybe. Probably because they still don't trust the cops to do their job there either. Go figure, who could trust them at this point? Y'all won't do shit until it's time to shoot some damn bullets. Until it's time to shoot civilians. And then suddenly you're gung-ho and you know exactly what to do, and you know exactly what to do. You are ready to do the job, aren't you? But when it comes to saving community members, putting yourself out there to protect and serve, where they were, I don't know where the Milwaukee PD was. I don't know what was more important to them during a pandemic, during these very tumultuous times, but I'm very proud of that community for coming together, finding those children, keeping those safe. Those girls are going to be grateful to all of you for the rest of their lives. They're going to think back on this 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and just be so feel loved and understand that the community cares about them. And that is exactly what we should be doing for all Black women, all Black little girls. All of us deserve this energy, this attitude, this level of perseverance to make sure that we stay safe. Every single one of them. All of the little girls, all of the ones under 18, all the ones over 18. I don't care if she's an elder. I don't care if she is an infant. We should be doing this for everybody. All right, thank you so much for listening to me talk about this. May your ancestors and spirit guides be with you at every crossroads, and I will see you next video.